All right, good morning, guys. Quick sound check. How's everybody doing this morning? Sound check a 1, 2. Awesome. Morning, Parker. What's up, Lou? Hope you guys are doing well. Sound check. What's up, James? All right, let's dive in, take a look at these markets. So we had a interesting day yesterday. We ended up breaking this support level in there, 4450s, rather aggressively out of the S&Ps here. Nasdaq broke it as well. Dow ended up breaking the same level later on in the day. All the markets ended up breaking their support levels here, and we could not get any retest here back to these 4450s. We couldn't even get high print here, 43 quarters there. Again, I was looking for this hourly support to hold, 15-minute change of trend to work in our favor, and get back above these levels and start working our way higher. We could never get back up above these levels here, and that ended up leading us down into 29.21 here, which is where we bounced from in the overnight session as well. Somehow my watch list, there it is, ended up there. So coming into today, we've got overnight highs 29.39, overnight lows 29.1750. So we got a 22-point range in the overnight session so far coming into today already. Nasdaq's got a high of 76.98 and a low of 76.16. So we got, what is that, an 82-point range going so far in the Nasdaq for the day. So I do think we will have plenty of a range on the day to participate in. And now the question is, kind of where are we going to go from that and what is going to push us there. So let's take a look at the Forex Factory calendar here real quick. And you'll notice pretty much the only thing we had here was at 8:30 this morning. We had some core durable goods there, some good trades balances, some other stuff here. The big thing here, if you're trading crude today, /CL is going to be at 10:30. We have crude oil inventory numbers, and then this stuff we will be long gone by then, and doesn't really affect us either way. Tomorrow we've got 8:30 as well, and then I don't know when this actually starts, the G20 meetings here. It just says day one, says all. I don't know what time that ends up starting. I'll probably look that up today just to make sure. And then again, Friday as well, G20 meetings. Some Canadian news coming out, at 8:30, some Great Britain pound news coming out at 4:30. So I think we have a good amount of news on the docket here for the rest of the week to continue to give us some volatility here, as well as some expanding ranges and broken trends here in this market. So coming into today, we've got S&Ps up 0.27%, Nasdaq up 0.40%, Russell 0.33%, and Dow, the laggard again now, 0.26%. So Dow and S&Ps here moving a little bit together there with this morning's move. So in the S&Ps, what I'm going to be looking to do today, we have exactly 7 hourly bars yesterday to the downside. Trend day all day, completely down. And we ended up hitting this support level down here of 29.21s. Now, we've got another support level down in here, comes in off this open 29.14s. Again, we traded 17.50s in the overnight session so far, and then have rallied nicely from there, kind of all the way back up into here. So we erased a good portion of yesterday's move, and at this point, the hourly chart doesn't give us exactly what I think we need to see there. We need to see a break of trend. We need to see some type of smaller time frame entry into this. So what I'm going to do is leave 29.21s and 29.14s as larger levels of support for today. That's about a 9-point drop from here where S&Ps could fall to. And then what I'm going to do is switch over to a 15-minute chart here. Actually, I'll switch to a 30-minute chart first, and kind of mark up some levels in here. And then I'll drill down into the 15-minute chart here. So 29.35 here, we're going to go ahead and highlight these as purple. There we go. And highlight off the 15-minute chart up in here as yellow. And all right. So what we're watching for now is we've broken to the upside. We've ended this downtrend here on the 15-minute chart when we broke through 29.26s and change there. That pushed us up into 29.35s, which is a 30-minute pivot there. And then the next target above here is going to be 29.41 quarters. If we can get above 29.41 quarters on the day, we could see an absolute reversal of yesterday's entire move and actually end up pushing up through 29.50.75s, yesterday's opening print there in the S&Ps. And again, that's going to be this last pivot here from this downtrend that started off the morning. And if we can get above that, I think we are good to go. So for this morning, what I'm going to be watching for is reactions off 29.35s here. You can see we pushed through that level in the overnight session, pulled back to it, and then have pretty much stayed right inside around it until about 8 o'clock when we started dropping there. So 29.35s on a first test on a rally up. We'll see what kind of reaction that gives us to the downside. And then again, it pullbacks here into kind of 29. I'll go ahead and throw. This is kind of an unusual day. You don't typically get like 7 green bars, 7 red bars to the upside. So you got to drill down into a smaller time frame chart. That level is going to come in at 29.26.75s. And if we throw the extended session on here, you can see exactly where we've stopped at in the move down here. We went from 29.35s straight back into 29.26.75s. So watch a kind of a ping pong action going on between 29.35s and 29.26.75s right at the open. If we break 29.35s, that should get us 41 quarters. If we break 26.75s, that should get us back down into the 21s. And then from there, it will be kind of up to the confirmation closes and what this market wants to do, whether we're going to actually hold 29.21 as support or we're going to break it, get 29.14, and then under 29.14, we've got a lot of room to go. Again, decent rally back this morning. I don't want to go out too much on a limb and say that I could see a complete reversal today. Again, we're going to need to get through these levels up here in order for that to happen. We have broken the hourly downtrend, or we started the hourly downtrend, broke the hourly uptrend. So this thing could very well just continue to the downside, much like it did for most of the day yesterday in there. So keep that in mind as well. And that's what I'm looking for there in the S&Ps. Moving over to the Nasdaq here. So Nasdaq support level, which would have been the same as 29.21s for the S&Ps, came in at 76.50 yesterday, and that level broke, traded below, and we continued to sell off from there, and actually traded down 76.16s in the overnight session. And what you'll notice is the Nasdaq actually didn't get new lows through yesterday's lows in the overnight session, right? So if we're looking at the just basic price here, Nasdaq's low from yesterday was 76.0950. This kind of spike low here at like 7 o'clock, between 7 and 8 o'clock last night, did not break that low. If we look at the S&Ps, for example, we ended up breaking those lows at that 7 to 8 o'clock time frame right in through here. We broke prior day's lows, which was 29.20s. We pushed down into 17.50s there. And if we take a look at the Russell here real quick, you can see we did the same thing in the Russell, broke down through yesterday's lows there. And then also, if we take a look at the Dow, you'll see same thing in here. Dow sold off between that 7 and 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time zone last night and ended up breaking through yesterday's lows. NASDAQ is the only market that did not, and NASDAQ is up 0.49% on the day, which is greater than any of the other markets by about 0.15% here. So again, I don't want to go out too much on a limb and say I could see a complete reversal here, but the NASDAQ is definitely showing signs that it does not want to go lower, and was able to hold those lows. Again, it was down the most on the day yesterday, but again, today it's coming in super strong and showing that it doesn't want to do any kind of downside action there. So levels here for the NASDAQ we can pull from the hourly chart are going to be 76.90s. We rallied up. We traded 98s in the overnight session, so we did push through those levels by a bit there. But 76.90s are 76.9050s to be exact there are going to need to break in order for us to get anything going to the upside. So I would watch for reactions on these levels here as we rally up into them. If we start to get reactions to the downside, then that's going to give you the direction of which way to take 76, 90, 50s. And again, from there, we've got room to kind of drop all the way down in here towards 75, 60s and change there. So plenty of room to go to the downside. Just watch for that reaction off 76, 90, 50s. Again, same thing here. I'm going to drill down into a 30-minute time frame chart. Excuse me, mark up some levels in here. 76, 66, 50s. We just currently pushed through that level there in the NASDAQ. 76, 66, 50s. And then if we drop down one more time frame here to the 15-minute chart, you can see these levels kind of come in here as well, 76, 70, 75s. And yeah. Oops. So I'm going to go ahead and change the colors on these. Blue, purple, yellow. Hourly, 30-minute, 15-minute charts. And we're currently trading 70 and a quarter right now. So we're sitting in between this zone here for the NASDAQ. So if we can push up a little bit here prior to the open, pull back into this zone, then I think what we'll see is a quick run up into 76, 90, 50. So I think that's probably the most likely scenario here right at the open, is we'll open somewhere right around 74s, I would anticipate actually. 76, 74 is a NASDAQ there. A quick little pullback into this, 66.50 to 70.75 zone there. If that will hold, then I think we get the run up to 76.90 50s in there. So that would be the first looking play on the day here for the NASDAQ that I'm seeing. So I'm going to be paying attention to that. Again, the NASDAQ ended up having one little green bar here at the end of the day, but 7 straight bars to the downside for the rest of the markets makes it a little bit more difficult to draw in some levels there. And we're going to need to kind of drill down into the smaller time frame charts, allow those to break. And if those break, they give us rallies, up into the larger time frame charts. So, and make no mistake about it, this gap up in this rally here could end up just being the rally that sets up a sell setup on the hourly chart. That is very much possible here, and could be the scenario for today. And again, if that happens, that pushes us lower. If it fails, then we go back higher. So we're in kind of that indecision zone right now where market has broken the uptrend. It's maybe trying to start a new downtrend, or maybe just needed a little bit deeper of a pullback on the hourly chart. Daily chart definitely still has room to go here. So there's a couple things coming into play there. And we'll just have to play it by ear, as they say. So what I got for the NASDAQ in there. Russell here, I think, is going to be a little bit different. So Russell has a really nice looking daily chart. We've got 4 days to the downside in the Russell, closing pretty much on lows yesterday. I mean, like a point off of lows there in the Russell. And if we can break this, we'll actually end up breaking the hourly downtrend here in the Russell. So 1535 50s in the Russell, if that breaks, then we will essentially trigger the daily buy setup, which is now, you can see here, pulled 4 days straight down, closing on a red bar. If we kind of open somewhere in around here, 1530s, 1532s or so, push up through these 1535 50s, and end up closing today on a green bar, that is going to be a really, really nice reversal pattern in there off of a daily chart. And that could lead the Russell significantly higher here. So somewhere kind of back up, I mean, at least today, I would anticipate probably 10 or 15 points through that 35 50s. Again, if it breaks. And I don't know if it will or won't just yet. But yeah, somewhere 10 or 15 points through that, 1545s, 1550s, somewhere up in there. And then ultimately, I think that kind of, continues this rally back here on a daily trend. And we push up through these highs up here around 1575s. And that pushes us up into, some higher levels from way back in here. So we'll worry about drawing those in later. But again, pay attention to the Russell today. If we can break above that 1535 50s, some type of confirmation close in there above that level, and or a push above and a retest for the Russell 1535 50s in there. So that's what I would be looking for there in the Russell. That is actually, from a swing chart perspective, probably one of the better looking charts that I see on the board. Again, it is the Russell, and swinging the Russell is not always as fun because it will do things like it did the past 4 days and just drop when everything else is just kind of consolidating and basing sideways. So, but from a swing perspective, I do like the Russell there if it can break those levels. Now, moving over to the Dow here. So Dow didn't get quite as much of the pullback here as the rest of the markets did, and well, relatively speaking to the pivot levels that it could have traded to that the rest of the markets did, right? And again, it is a little bit stronger here. Not today, percentage change on the day, just talking basic price structure on here. We traded an overnight high of 26,703s. We've got a level in place here. Again, Dow doesn't have 7 red bars to the downside. It actually ended up having a green bar between 10:30 and 11:30 yesterday, and established a little bit of a pivot here. So Dow up through 26,699 there. I think this thing ends up going pretty much straight up into 26,853s. We're going to need some confirmation closes above that level. Again, we traded 4 points through it this morning, traded 26,703s there, and then sold off so far almost 100 points, back down to about 26,610s there, so 90 some points or so off of those highs for the Dow. So that's going to be the main thing I'm watching for in the Dow here. We do have some smaller time frame charts we can kind of drill down into here, but it does give us a pretty clear hourly area that needs to break above in order for us to really look at longs. One thing in here we can do, since it didn't break down, there we go. Since it didn't break down quite as far as yesterday, one thing we can do is put in place here 26,485 as a support level for the Dow. 26,509 is the overnight lows in there, so about 25 points or so off of hitting that level in the overnight session here. So if we rally up into 26,699s again on the day, and Dow can't push through, S&Ps aren't pushing through, Russell's not breaking that 3550s, and we start working our way to the downside, this is where I would anticipate the Dow to get back to is 26,485s here. Again, I don't necessarily see that being the case today, but again, if it breaks one level, it should go to the next. Pretty much exactly what we did yesterday. We just could not get rallies and retest or in the downtrend to start looking at new longs in the rest of the markets there. So that's going to be my game plan here for this morning. Again, obviously going to have to wait for the open and a little bit of action here to kind of prove itself out and see what these markets want to do today. I think in order of preference here on the day, Russell is the favorite swing trade there if it can get over 3550s. I think Nasdaq is the preferred trade off of the open in this 6650 to 7075 zone with a move up into 7690 50s. And then I think S&Ps here on a move through 35s and then up through 41s there, I think will prove to be next in line in terms of the order of preference here for trades to occur today. So I'm liking what I'm seeing so far here. Just want to see how it plays out and see if the game plan from this morning will come together here in the regular trading hours session. Again, we've got plenty of overnight range here. I think that's going to carry through for today. So if you miss a trade or two on the entry, the initial entry, I think there will be secondary entries into this. And again, if we do reverse this down move from yesterday, it will be a rather aggressive trend day to the upside, most likely clean, orderly 15-minute pullbacks. And I think that will only start after the morning gyrations of kind of this little bit of gap up, digest the move, figure out if it wants to do that or not. So that's what I got for you guys. I'm not going to cover gold or crude here this morning. Crude's up $1.44. Gold's down $6 here. I'll take a look at those in the MLT Discord with everybody. But it is a little bit after 9:25 here. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the morning stream down. I will be back with everyone that is in the MLT Discord, trading live with you guys. We went all day yesterday. It was a very long stream, but it was kind of fun. So it was a very boring day. We just watched it trend to the downside. Couldn't break the trend, but still a fun day. Good commentary and some knowledge and wisdom dropped by Perry in there as well. So if you guys want to join me in the MLT Discord, there's going to be a link in the description below. As always, give me a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed the content. Click that subscribe button so you get notifications when we go live each and every morning about 9 o'clock. And I will see you guys on the next video.